The much-anticipated Batman movie finally broke into theaters this Friday, and boy, it did not disappoint. We got to see our favorite bats chasing down crooks in the all-too-familiar streets. The film might have delivered some iconic moments, but it had its fair share of confusing moments as well. Like, why did Carmine laugh while talking to Bruce? And what did the Riddler's words really mean? In today's video, we'll be going over Batman's most confusing moments. And yes, that means a spoiler warning. First, we have the opening scene. From the very start, fans found themselves scratching their heads. The opening scene starts with a boy dressed in a Halloween costume. The POV is through a window of a large home. The boy was sword fighting with someone who appeared to be his father. At first glance, many thought that they were seeing a young Bruce sparring with Alfred before he set off with his parents to see the Mark of Zorro. Yep, we're referring to that fateful night for the bats. The shot is shaky, and there's a lot of heavy breathing in the background, so initially we weren't exactly sure about what was being shown, but a few scenes later we found that it was the Riddler himself. The infamous villain was staking Gotham's corrupt mayor before he robbed him of his life. The introduction sure did a good job of setting the tone of the movie and also reeling us in with anticipation. Next up, we see John Turturro in action as he takes on the role of mob boss Carmine Falcone. We're first introduced to this character through the eyes of our favorite thief, Selina. Bruce is nearby monitoring her movement as she makes her way into the 44 Below, a place within the Iceberg Lounge well known for housing the most crooked of Gotham elite. Bruce and Falcon first interact at the mayor's funeral, where Carmine recalls some rather fond memories. Carmine talks about Bruce's father, Thomas Wayne. He talked about how Wayne patched him up when he showed up at their doorstep bleeding from a bullet wound. Bruce, who was a child at the time, managed to watch the whole ordeal from afar. When he's done telling the story, Carmine asks Bruce, "You don't think that means something?" Bruce simply responds by saying that his father took the Hippocratic Oath, something every doctor must do. An answer Falcone finds very amusing because he responds with a soft chuckle and then a heartier laugh. At first, audiences find themselves confused as to why that might be, but it turns out that just like the Riddler's riddles, it was a pun. To Falcon, the word Hippocratic sounds like a hypocrite. Bruce may idealize his father as a man of principles, but what he doesn't know is that Thomas Wayne had asked Falcon for help once, and that eventually led to a mother. Falcon probably finds it hilarious that Daddy's boy here doesn't know the truth about what his father was up to. When Bruce later did find out the truth, he was distraught, but fortunately Alfred was there to clear up any misconceptions and repair the father-son relationship, one that was damaged by Falcon's words. What happened to Selina's mom? Most people who watched the film would tell you that their favorite moment from the film might just be the one where Selina and Bruce got to bond. Catwoman finally let go of her mask and broke down in front of Bruce, proving that his initial suspicions about her were wrong. Bruce initially had her doubts about her, thinking she's either romantically involved with Carmine or doing this to pull off something. But Selina destroys any such suspicions as she explains that Falcone is, in her mind, her father. She spent her entire life looking to settle the score with him. Selina expands on her backstory and explains how her mother used to work at the notorious 44 Below. Her mother used to bring Selina along with her job, but Selina never really liked it. She was particularly off-put by the way Falcone always stared at her. Given that Falcone probably knows that Selina is her daughter, he just doesn't recognize the woman before him is her, a fact she finds out when he's staring down the barrel of a gun with Selina on the other end. Selina asks if he remembers his mother, Maria Kyle. Turturro's performance is really appreciable because he managed to capture the moment where it all clicked together for Falcon beautifully. As Selina pulls the trigger, she says, "This is for my mother," finally getting the justice she wanted all along. This series of events is nerve-wracking on its own, but the real kicker comes when it's revealed that Falcone was, in fact, the one to kill Selina's mother. Annika's voicemail was the one to entangle the entire mystery for her. In the recording, we found out that Falcone was the one who personally had his hands around Annika's neck. As the recording plays out, Bruce and Selina lock eyes in uncomfortable silence. Each of them now fully understands how Falcone is not afraid to get his hands dirty at all. Further evidence that points towards Falcone piles up as he tries to choke Selina with a pool cue and then with his hands. As he strangles her, he says, "Just like your mother." And we all know what he's referring to now. Next, Batman comes to an end. At the end of the movie, the Riddler is finally caught and his true identity is revealed as Edward Nashton, a bitter forensic accountant who had his origins as a traumatized orphan responsible for uncovering the corruption behind the Gotham Renewal Fund. Growing up, he witnessed just how rotten the city was, which understandably drove him to become a vengeful serial killer. As the police make their way through his apartment to uncover more clues to find out why he did what he did, they come across one more password-protected video. With the news clippings, Bruce is worried that Riddler has figured out the true identity of the Batman, and his anxiety worsens when he receives a call from Gordon saying that the Riddler wants to have a chat at Arkham. He even goes as far as calling it the end of Batman. Batman. Thankfully, it turns out that that's not the case. When Bruce shows up at the prison, Nashton starts monologuing about his childhood. He talked about how he absolutely despised Bruce when he was a young boy. It seemed like the city only cared about orphans who lived in a mansion. To the audience, it feels like Nashton is building up to the big reveal, but it turns out he just wants to point out that the Riddler and Batman managed to get all of the villains' targets except Wayne. It's shocking because the Riddler isn't addressing Batman as his name, rather as his partner in crime. He points out the similarities between them, like how the two of them are angry, vengeful men. The two of them even have the same goals, which are punishing the crooks of their city and bringing them to justice. However, one of them lacked the physical strength to pull him off, so his mission took a different turn. This moment is a wake-up call for Batman. Bruce has come face to face with the consequences of what he's done. Even though his intentions are different, his methods paint him in the same light as his nemesis. So it might not be the end for Batman, but it's definitely the end of the Batman we've seen so far. Now we have the Arkham scene. We couldn't possibly end the video without talking about this particular scene. Towards the end of the movie, the Riddler isn't handling the defeat all too well. Obviously, he's having a breakdown in his cell when a friendly voice calls out to him. The two interact with the voice offering some comfort to the Riddler. Some of you may be confused as to how this voice might be. Well, it's none other than the Joker. We couldn't have a Batman movie without him, now could we? The Joker's appearance was a bit shocking, since fans did not expect Joker to make an appearance before the credits rolled around. More importantly, what is he doing in Arkham? Did he and Batman already have a showdown? Is he already in the full Joker mode? He's got the laugh, for one, and judging from his silhouette, it seems like Matt has given him Heath Ledger's scar as well. Unfortunately, the questions regarding the Joker's appearance remained answered. We'll have to wait for director Matt Reeves to say something. Fans don't really know what to expect with him since his vision differs from the source material, something that was even corroborated by actor Robert Pattinson. And now, after seeing the film, we can see ourselves. Reeves managed to capture all the essential elements of the Batman franchise, all the while bringing his own touch to it. We don't know if Reeves will be working on a Batman vs. Joker showdown, given the recent Phoenix Joker film. We'll just have to wait and find out. And that's a wrap for this video. What do you think of the new Batman movie? What were your favorite moments? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe to our channel. We'll see you next time with another video. Bye now.